So, yeah, I'm tethered to my phone, which can somehow get much better upload speeds than my computer Wi-Fi does. So hopefully, a lot of the issues that we had with our last stream won't be present here. But again, this is the second of I have no idea how many because I haven't beat NORCO yet. Second of however many streams of the NORCO video game from the Geography of Robots. And I'm Leo Quan, and I hope to guide you through what we got in the South over here. So, got a couple people viewing. Welcome to the chat, Vapor Noir, and my good friends Christopher and Matt. I hope y'all have a good time. I'm going to be starting the game right about now. So, Funk Soul Brother. All right, so my playthrough of the game is not really that far ahead of where we were left off last time. And if you may remember, we had left off right after you have restored the motorbike that your mom has in the backyard, and you and Million, your robot friend with the starry face, you're on the motorcycle and airline highway, headed to Sarpy paperbacks. So this is where we're at, and hopefully it'll take you through the rest of Act 1 today, and hope to illuminate a little bit more about St. Charles Parish and Southeast Louisiana as a whole. So thanks again, and we're going to start right now. All right, so what was left over here, let me actually turn this down a second. I'm sorry, this is like blasting in my ears. All right, so not a stream without any kind of technical difficulties, but let's see if I can change this. Yeah, all right, okay, so sound in my headphones is not as crazy as it was, but yeah, like I had said, we're driving down Airline Highway, and we're having trying to find our brother, Blake, who's gone missing, but he wants to see you since your mom's dead. But following the trail, Blake he might be at Sarpy Books, or he might be at the tavern. Not going to spoil anything, but we're going to see in a minute. So let's talk to Million. Million shouts over the wind. The bike runs much better now. You can use it to get around during your visit. And where could Blake be? He spends much of his time at Sarpy Paperbacks. Perhaps we could check there. How's Blake been? The year that you left, Blake became uncontrollable. His behavior troubled Catherine deeply. He's beginning to remind her of your grandfather. No, I don't think he can crash the bike, but again, I have no idea. I haven't played through the rest of this game, so you might go endlessly on Airline Highway, or you might hit an alligator. So back to the game. So after he was expelled from Destrehan, he began running drugs into the parish. He made himself many enemies. So as you probably guessed, Destrehan is the high school that a lot of people on the east bank of St. Charles Parish went to school to. So I went to Hanville High School, which was originally in Hanville, Louisiana, but is now in Boutte, Louisiana. And Destrehan was our de facto rival. So Yutz and I didn't know each other in high school. We probably would have been great friends, and joked about being rivals. But yeah, again, like we had said last time, a parish is essentially a county, and it just has to do with the influence of the Catholic Church in Louisiana. He put those things behind him after her illness, but now that she's gone, I'm uncertain what to expect. And this is actually how I felt. This place can ruin people, perhaps. And I'll apologize for leaving. Blake took it very personally, but your mother understood. She always wanted you to experience America while you could. Did you take it personally? No. Asking Million how they've been? I'm always the same, Kay. Always the same. Cool. How's it been like around town? S.H.I.E.L.D. has been expanding since you left. Catherine took your grandfather's boat into the lake to investigate reports of construction in wind swamps along the shoreline. She assumed it to be unpermitted S.H.I.E.L.D. activity. And again, we probably established this, but the lake is Lake Pontchartrain. She was unable to find any evidence of it, however. However, it was clear that she found something during that investigation. What was it? I don't know. Perhaps you do? Haven't spoken to her in years. How would I know? Has Blake not mentioned anything? I never trust what Blake says. In any event, something drew her to the lake in the months before her death. Alright, so we're on our way to see our brother Blake. He might be at Sarpy Books, so let's take a look at the map. Alright, so here's essentially St. Charles Parish. This is the Lake Pontchartrain area, and this over here, little bridge that these birds are flying by, is a portion of I-10 that's elevated over Lake Pontchartrain. This is all marshland leading into eventually a huge-ass lake. I see that my friend Polly has joined this chat. She's from the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain, and where I grew up, I guess this is more of kind of like the southwest area of Lake Pontchartrain, but it is a bit far away from the lake where I grew up. Anyway, so here we have Floodgate Tavern, which is close to Airline Highway, it looks. Here's Home, which is somewhere close down Apple Street, and Dimes Discount, which is supposedly at the end. So we're trying to go to Sarpy Books, and I know that New Sarpy, I don't know where the name Sarpy comes from, but I know that New Sarpy is like a neighborhood close to NORCO, like between NORCO and Destrehan. And I went to a guy's house there once that I used to work with. Great story. So, all right, we're back into the game, and I've actually got some notes about this. So I want to talk to the teens over here, but we're gonna look at them first. The two teens nod and gesture excitedly while bouncing between topics. So BMX Kid says, "Where this dog came from, bruh?" "I don't know. She been sitting here for a while. You seen her eyes? Them eyes are something, bruh." So yeah, I mean, you probably gathered it, but bruh is just one of the things that people refer to each other around here. It's more kind of like there's like I've seen youths refer to this as "hey bras," and that's the thing that you'll see around here. Like, there's a lot that can really be gone into about the dialects around the New Orleans area. The like Metairie bra, Kenner bra, these are more kind of like, these are people that exist within the suburbs of New Orleans. This is like a working class white dialect or something like that. I really don't know enough about that, but there's a really interesting documentary produced in the 80s that is called, I think it's called Where You At? And it talks about some of the larger dialects and like some of the words that are used within the New Orleans area. And it's a weird little obsession of mine. And it really is just like a great documentary to dig into and get an idea of what New Orleans kind of is like now. You can still hear a lot of the accents, but like with mine, I'm so far removed from the source of it that I just probably sound like a guy from anywhere within America. And yeah, you can find clips of the documentary on YouTube, and this is how I watched it when I was in college, but I actually rented it from the library. I don't know if I ripped the DVD, but I might have, and if I did, then ask me about it. So yeah, that was a lot to talk about, brah. But I remember in grade school asking some kid, why are you calling me a brah? I'm not a supportive undergarment. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you're allowed to be a dick. And yeah, it's just short for brother, and like you roll with it. So yeah, next thing I want to draw attention to is the checks to cash place over here. And you know what that is, like payday loan places. They're littered throughout the New Orleans area because of the high poverty rates, and you know their exploitative practices are. You can read or figure that out yourself. So we're gonna talk to this driver guy, who's a young man leaning against his station wagon while scrolling idly on his phone, whose silhouette darkened by the fluorescent glare of the payday lender's sign. Started doing this rideshare thing a few weeks ago. I kind of hate it. Ask him why. Pays like shit. Spending hours a day making small talk with randos and melting my brain. Nearly broke an axle driving over a pothole in Holly Grove. Holly Grove, another neighborhood in New Orleans. This is my grandpa's car. If I trash it, he'll kill me. Drove anything interesting? There's all types around here. Some guy I drove out to the middle of the swamp. It was like 2 a.m. Asked me to wait. He got out, took off his clothes, jumped in the bayou, came back up a minute later with a bag. Toweled off, got back in. Found that to be pretty fucking weird. I don't know. And a while back, I drove some lady out to the medical district. She was an odd one. Seemed kind of sick, asked me all kinds of questions. Do I ever pick up random signals on the radio? Weird shit like that. There's just all types. So... yeah, let's see if I can like hover around. Yeah, we're gonna go into the bookstore. So take a look. Your mom used to come here to dig through the stacks. Among the heaps of used romance novels and westerns, she always managed to find some occult artifact. The owner is also the landlord. You imagine that's the only way he managed to keep a place like this running. Over the years, they've experimented with other revenue-generating schemes. For a while, you could get your phone repaired here. Then they tried selling vape cartridges, then kratom, then anime wall scrolls, LSU yard ornaments after that. You remember seeing online that they were trying to do some kind of acupuncture thing. In the end, the schemes always fail, and only the paperbacks remain. So, yeah, like every gas station around New Orleans, not every gas station, but a ton like do that kind of like side hustle using the space that they have to repair phones, sell vape shit, or as it says here, LSU yard ornaments. So the thing that I wanted to point out here is just like how fucking much everyone in St. Charles Parish loves LSU. LSU being Louisiana State University, located out of Baton Rouge. They have a really popular football team is mostly what they're known for, but they're a fairly large public university within the state. I didn't go there. A lot of people that I know did. That's kind of the big magnet to people that want to stay around here. But yeah, I like the closer you get to Baton Rouge, the more fans of LSU you see versus the Saints. But the closer to New Orleans you get, the more Saints fans you get. Saints, the NFL football team located in New Orleans. Lots of people just like never went to LSU, but they still love them. I don't know why. I can't explain it. That's not my thing. So we're gonna go inside the bookstore and have thoughts of LSU in our head. You wonder how anyone can read in this dim and cluttered bookshop. As your eyes adjust, you see Blake's childhood friend Erica waiting behind the counter to greet you. Kay? And Million, when you get back in town? I've been in NORCO for quite some time. Perhaps you're misremembering, Erica. Weird, I guess so. But anyhow, okay, you're looking rugged these days, old friend. Heard you ran into Troy. That guy, my god, he's such a clown. I was keeping up with your travels online, but haven't seen you post in a while. You tossed your phone into the Rio Grande. I respect that. Seems more and more common these days. I've been avoiding my phone as well. Helps that the connection has been so erratic. Been hearing of people chopping down cell towers, tearing fiber cables out the ground, trying to rip the internet apart. She nods into the ensuing silence. Back because of your mom, huh? Let's say sort of. I knew it wasn't always easy between you two. I was around for some of the arguments. Blake would say that she was a great person, but a terrible mom. I just hope you and your brother can find some comfort. That means a lot, thank you. Of course, I lost my dad a while back, also to cancer. He was a mean bastard, picked up my sister and threw her one time, ended up giving her a concussion. I couldn't wait for him to die, and when he did, I danced. But as the years pass, I find myself thinking about him more. It feels good to hear stories about him. It's always complicated with this shit, never easy. I worry about your brother. Your mom's illness was taking a toll on him. I watched him slip back into some bad behaviors. Have you seen Blake lately? Yeah, I saw him just yesterday. He hasn't been around the house? He has not. He said he was heading to Floodgate Tavern when I saw him. He may have gotten wasted. I know Gus let him sleep behind the bar a couple times. Did he know you were coming, Kay? He never mentioned it. I figured he'd try to avoid me. Yeah, he can be like that sometimes. I've had to be delicate with him recently. If I ask how he's doing, he goes quiet. If I offer help, he doesn't return my texts. He's broken. Sometimes I see glimmers of light in his personality, but it's rare these days. If I hear from him, I'll tell him to find you. Alright, so welcome to Sarpy Books. Sarpy Paperbacks, excuse me. So, looking around, we can see some rules maybe on this, but we can't read that. There's just some lines. Let's take a look at the books. You scan through the titles on the shelf. Don't be a vampire. You pick the slim, self-published paperback from the shelf and flip to a random page. Another dark and lonely night spent in the cavern of despair, hidden from the daylight. Blackout curtains are all that defer my eternal death. Thought being a vampire would be sexy, but it's not. It's awful for your skin. I look pathetic. Also, blood tastes like bong water. Didn't think it'd be like this. And the Good Hope Cemetery, Easement. A carbon copy of a document authored by the St. Charles Parish Planning Committee. The document outlines the parish's intentions to secure a roadway through a 90-meter stretch of the Shield Industrial Complex. This easement would allow the descendants of those entombed to visit the Good Hope Cemetery. The grave sites are currently surrounded on all sides by the refinery. So I didn't talk about this last time, but in my PowerPoint presentation that I gave at the very beginning, I had a picture of what was, I think it's in, not Vacherie, the Taft chemical plant that's on River Road, close to Hahnville. Yeah, my grandpa is buried there. There's a pretty, let's see if I can actually find a photo of that. So, chemical plant, cemetery. So, okay, yeah, let's put on my my browser real quick. So, yeah, 2016, I was living in Bentonville, Arkansas, and this actually happened in 2017. So this was the second of my grandparents to die. They grew up in Hahnville, which is like a mile or so away from the Holy Rosary Cemetery in Taft. But there's this kind of like great photo of what it is like. Yeah, it's literally a cemetery surrounded on all sides by a chemical plant. So it's pretty surreal coming back to Luling for my grandpa's funeral, sitting through it, seeing a lot of family members, helping to carry his casket in this graveyard into a one of those tombs surrounded by a chemical plant. But that's the kind of things that you see in this beautiful world. So the stuff that you see within NORCO is fictional, but it is based on a lot of reality. So yeah, let's head back to the game. I just thought that was worth bringing up because it's something similar to like what's mentioned right here. So yeah, we're gonna finish talking to our friend Erica. Actually, no, we were looking at the books. So this is the guy we want to talk to right now, Crouton. So this here is the illustrious Crouton. We found him behind the dumpster out back licking cardboard. Whatever you do, don't try to pet him. He's a devil. I've got scars all over my hands from this damn cat. So now this is a little bit of insider info, but I know that Crouton is actually the name of Yutz's cat. His partner has had him for a while, and I don't know if he's, like, I gotta apologize, I don't know if he's still alive, but as of 2013, maybe 2014, Yutz and I worked together at a marketing company around that time, and I remember he was kind of freaking out about his partner's cat, Crouton, having some kind of health scare, and so I'd recommended him use a crowdfunding thing, and it worked. They got the money, and Crouton got well, and I don't know, you might have to wait until next stream or ask Geography of Rogrots directly on Twitter or Instagram if Crouton is still around, but you can look at this guy right now, and we're gonna try to pet him. And he likes it! Oh wow, Crouton usually bites strangers. He must like you. So, I don't know if I should, like, keep petting him. Do you guys want to see what happens if you keep petting Crouton? I'm gonna pet him. Again. He seems to be getting a little excited. Alright. We're just gonna keep petting this dog. I mean cat. Same thing. Wow, I've never seen a cat purr this hard. Maybe you two should slow down. No, like, you know, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. I did it in my playthrough, and I love cats, but he looks like he loves it too. All right. No, really, stop touching the cat. Crouton looks like he's fixing to explode. Alright, so I need everybody to believe in me right now, because I don't know if I can remember 6 items in the sequence, so I might totally fuck this up, but I did it once before, and I'm going to go into this very confidently to pet Crouton the cat for a final, I must say, time. Crouton. What? Fuck. Just happened to the cat. Kay! God damn it. I told you to stop fucking with the cat. Did he just launch through the ceiling? What the hell just happened? Yeah, we just got to see something you might see in a Heathcliff comic. Crouton flew through the roof and left behind a Crouton phone case. So, you might have noticed this computer monitor over here, or actually maybe straight up a computer, incrementally went up from 0 to 1 to 3 to 4 to WTF, which I think it stands for with the family. So WTF, that means that Crouton is with the family in heaven. We're going to try to talk to Erica one more time. Kay, I love you. I know you're going through a hard time, but I'm a little pissed you launched the cat through the ceiling. Just give me some space, okay? Alright. Well, thank you all for enabling me to send a cat into outer space. I hope that we get to grow from this experience. But that's about all that we have right now for the Sarpy paperbacks. So we're gonna head back outside. I do hope Erica is correct and that Blake's absence is due to nothing more than another drunken night. My intuition leaves me with a sense that something is wrong. Do you feel it too, Kay? Does something feel strange to you? Catherine. So here's the New Orleans skyline. Welcome to New Orleans several weeks ago. The Greater New Orleans Neural Versioning Clinic. What brings you here tonight? I'm dying. The cancer, it's gotten everywhere. There are some things I'd like to leave behind. I understand. And you were referred by Mr. Richard? Or Richard? Duck, that's what everyone calls him. Yes, Duck. We followed his branch with some interest. Who hasn't? I gather we'll be discussing this in more detail as things progress. For now, let us begin with a simple exercise. I'd like to talk about your earliest memory. It's of pine trees, yes? That's right. Tell me about them. They grew from the concrete, like sick flesh, like cancer. They made your father upset. He see them and frowned, but he remained silent. He sit quietly in the truck, dissatisfied. I wouldn't say a word. Speaking in those moments made you a fool in his mind. Your father's house was suffocating. I couldn't wait to get out, and that's why you married Blue. Yes, to have somewhere to go. We bought our little place on Good Hope Street. The whole thing was a mistake. When I told him I didn't love him, it was in my father's voice. I told him I never loved any man. Was it true? No. That was a difficult night for you. It didn't feel real. Why? The spillway was black that evening. The spillway is flooded. It looked like black marble. Where was Blue? He sat at the window all night. The east-facing window? Yes. When you stood over him to apologize, you saw the flare stack of the refinery in his eyes. I never apologized. So, we're gonna save these memories for our kids. Or was it after that, in the time before he died? We circled each other in wide orbits. I'd hide at the center of the house nursing Kay and only leave when I heard him step out. He'd sleep on the couch or next to her crib. He'd sing her old Cajun lullabies, pet her head, whisper to her about his life. And then there was the explosion. When the cat cracker blew, they say he fell 5 stories. We went to identify his body on a Thursday night. I remember the tempo of the streetlights, the police scattered across the East Bank. I carried Kay in a blanket. She never cried. We were quiet, she and I. Alright. So a quick thing, East Bank and West Bank is like something that you hear a ton within the New Orleans area and refers to geographical positioning relative to the Mississippi River. And as the Mississippi River flows, it like actually sometimes goes from west to east. So technically, like the East Bank of NORCO is the East Bank of St. Charles Parish, where NORCO resides, is on the north of the Mississippi River, and Luling is to the south. Though technically, relative to the like, if you view the Mississippi River as a north to south thing, totally, it's on the west of it. So, yeah, that's something that's going to come up probably, well, definitely within the rest of this stream, but maybe within the rest of the game. But it mentioned the East Bank, and that's what it means. Tell me about this man. I would see him from time to time around NORCO. This was many years back. But several weeks ago, Blake saw someone passing by the house. I think it was him. Why? I just do. The robot is no longer there to deter him. Million? Yes. Could be it. What was your first encounter with Million? Let me think. She came to me in the parking lot. He was about 12 years old at the time. She knew Blue from his days at the aluminum refinery. I stared for a long time into a constellation of eyes. They swirled in a kind of desperation. I took her home, knowing it was another mistake. You were reckless in those days. I welcome any trouble I could find. Yeah, I don't know what saving these things really does. If it has any kind of bearing on the game, except if you don't save any of them, you get an achievement, maybe. Anyway, sorry about that. What is the significance of this image to you? It's, well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. It's a sphere. It followed me in the lake. When? Recently, a few weeks ago. This is where Mr. Richard's branch factors into your biography. Doc's version escaped. A hard fork, an extremely rare instance. And grew into some kind of monster. It began speaking to me through the radio. It told me to install an app. An app? Yes. I think it was for something to do with the thing, the sphere, whatever it is. But so long as it pays, I don't care. I could use the money. The app pays? Yes. I see. It seems it's the last control point that you submitted. Would you like to include any additional thoughts or memories? Anything not included in the intake form? No, that should be enough. I will now begin disconnecting the sensors. A slight feeling of nausea and disorientation is normal and no cause for alarm. I thank you for your patience, Miss Madair. Alright. So, this is the thing that we're all familiar with in New Orleans, the neural versioning clinic. Usually, I go there every other week to make sure that my memories are stored for future generations. I don't have any kids, but I'm totally goofing with y'all. We don't do that here. This is only a thing that exists in this game. But something that kind of came to mind with the neural versioning thing is that within computer programming, within software programming, you have version control of just different different bits to code. You can commit like different steps in it, so it's like a save game. So I like to think of this this versioning clinic thing as like a save spot for memories. So we're gonna click on Catherine. No idea what Super Duck wants from me. Better check my phone. But I'm gonna talk to the attendant first. Ma'am? Ma'am, are you okay? My eyes are just playing tricks on me, I guess. Vertigo and visual distortion are common side effects of a versioning session. Shall I contact our on-call physician? No, it's fine. Very well. Last name? It's Mader. First name, Catherine. One moment. Your head drive is fully synced. You have chosen our silver tier. Your product does not come pre-installed with adware blocking services and is provided as is without warranty. You're eligible for a free sync anytime before the new year. Thank you for choosing the Greater New Orleans Neural Versioning Clinic for your cognitive versioning needs. What happens if we talk to her again? Thank you for choosing the Greater New Orleans Neural Versioning Clinic for your cognitive versioning needs. All right. So, I'm going to take a look at my phone. And I want to look at the case picker. See if our crouton... No, we just have a Metairie Angels phone case. Okay, so... gotta give it up for them Angels, baby. Who dat? So this looks like perfectly like the New Orleans Saints. What did I have written? That the Metairie Angels are the New Orleans Saints, who are Super Bowl champions, I think, for whatever Super Bowl XLIV is. You always see that around town. And people in the New Orleans area love the phrase "who dat" based on a chant starting in the 80s. It's "who dat, who dat, who dat say they're gonna beat them Saints," but it's been shortened, and I think a lot of the context of it has been lost, and so people call themselves "who dats" because they're Saints fans. And so it's another thing that's similar to like I think, like, unfortunately, for an example, is like Donald Trump's followers calling themselves deplorables as like a badge of honor. You lose a lot of the context for what is originally there, and you might like take it on as a badge of honor. So people know that it's from the chant. But yeah, I don't know, when I was younger, I would just walk into a show, and anytime somebody mentioned New Orleans, I'd just yell, "Who dat?" And so it's me kind of being a dick, but whatever. I love them Saints, just like I love them Swamps. All right. So clicking around here, Catherine has $10 in her wallet, and that translates to 0.032 quack coins. I'm gonna take a look at the messages. And K, that's a protagonist, I guess, from earlier. Catherine says, "Just checking in. Just text when you can." Kay says, "I'm fine. Where are you, dear?" "Arizona." "Where in Arizona?" "I don't know." "Love you. Just checking in. Still in Arizona?" "New Mex." "Be careful. It doesn't seem safe to be there right now. Call when you can. Getting worried." "Kay?" "Blake says he hasn't heard from you. Really getting concerned. Please call. They put me on another round of chemo. Would love to hear from you. Call." So this reminds me that I have a text I need to respond to from my mom. We're going to look at Blake's text. "Where you went, Ma?" "I'm out. I'm fine. I had to drop something off at your parents. Been gone a while. I had to make a couple stops. I'm okay, I promise." "Blake, have you heard from your sister?" "Yeah, she says she's okay." "Where is she?" "She didn't say." "Dear, where did my pills go?" "In a meeting, we'll call back." "How'd it go this morning?" "We'll call." "Ma, he came back around. I'll be home soon. Calling Uncle Chip." "It's fine. Love you. Love you, sweetheart." "Blake, can you hear me? Can you come to the living room, please? Something's happened. Out this evening. Everything's okay. You need to stay home. I'll be fine, I promise. Love you, my nerd. Love you, Ma." Okay, Duck. "Been a while, Duck. Too long, old friend. How's the weather on your side of the tracks?" "They have me on chemo. Terrible. I don't have long myself. They got me carrying around a tank. Blue's waiting for us. I don't doubt that for a minute. Praise the glory of Lord. Something on your mind, Kate? Don't want to raise your blood pressure. Try me. Super contacted me. So he did. Don't mess around with that shit. Where you went? Don't mess around with Super, Kate. That thing's got no soul. Like to ruin what it all touches. I need the money. They don't take money where you're going, where we're going. I can't leave it for the kids to clean up. Blue left them a little bit with how he went, but I was a fool. Don't worry yourself like this at the end. Find peace. No peace for me. Don't get mixed up with that thing, Kate. I'll tell you now, it won't go how you want it. Kate, god damn it. Hope you're listening. Alright, and then my direct. I'm not going to read through all of these, but it's Oxnard, my direct medical portal. 6281760 is your verification code. Do not share this code with anyone. You have chosen to receive online billing notifications via SMS. To confirm, please respond yes. To cancel, please respond no. Yes. Your SMS notification service is now confirmed. This is a lot of things of Catherine's bills. Quick thing to note, I work for Oxnard Healthcare, which is the largest health or hospital network within the state and starting to become like the Gulf South region. So I'm a web developer for them, working with the marketing team. So Oxnard, Ochsner, and Oxnard, and then Oxnard has my Oxnard platform, which you pay your bills through and stuff. So that's just a quick little context thing. Not that you really needed that, but Oxnard is where people go to get health care, largely within this area. So not a monopoly. My personal feelings about the company, I think that they do good work. I'm glad to be working for them, but I'm critical of the healthcare system as a whole and how it preys upon the poor and sick. So anyway, that's my Oxnard. So we're going to take a look at the quack job stuff that we have. It says here I need to go to the Curious Duck. So I guess this is like, I don't know, like a gig economy type of thing. This seems interesting, but we're gonna go to the Curious Duck, which is the nearest rendezvous to my location. More information awaits us there. We're gonna meet our contact at the Curious Duck and get 0.14 quack coins. Then we're gonna receive orientation at the Eagle Janitorial and Paper Supplies in Fat City. So, as it is, we're headed out to Perdido Street. So this is, actually a street in New Orleans. It runs a span from the river to the I-10 overpass and a little bit into the mid-city area in New Orleans. So it doesn't span the whole length of the city, but it is a lesser traveled kind of road to downtown and primarily passes by medical complex. There's a large kind of like VA hospital and LSU medical complex that, this is where you're taken to. I wanted to first go to the billboard over here, and here he is. The uncanny smile of personal injury attorney Martin Smart hangs above Interstate 10. His eternally coiffed hair clings desperately to his head. His hallmark blood-red tie catches the eyes of drivers speeding east. Just a click away, the sign reads. I'm going to pull this up again. This is the ever-present gaze of Morris Bart, personal injury attorney in New Orleans. I'm going to pull up a picture of him or like the Google image search results for him. to show y'all. It's pretty funny. So Morris Bart's great red ties. He smiles like a little kid. And I think that it's really, I don't know, just like seeing this guy always makes me laugh. See him around town. It's old as hell. His slogan here is "One click, that's it." But yeah, he's got billboards everywhere throughout the Gulf Coast region, and he has been on TV since I was a kid. And yeah, one thing that I wanted to say, like, let's see if I can find the kid Morris Bart birthday. So yeah, this kid had a Morris Bart themed birthday party in 2015. Kid's probably old now, a teen, maybe a preteen, but the toddler is so obsessed with a local personal injury lawyer, it was his birthday theme. So here's Morris Bart. I don't know, he looks so wild here. When you're a kid, you're just like watching the shit out of TV. You become infatuated with the things that are around you, and this is probably why I'm personally just like enthralled by personal injury attorneys throughout the country, because I just watched a lot of daytime TV when I was a kid, and breaking up things with like watching the talk shows and the soap operas with my grandma would be like personal injury attorneys, and so they've always larger than life personalities, always creeps. But anyway, just like this kid, I probably was obsessed with Morris Bart. Let's see if I can find his birthday cake. Yeah, there he is. This is going to be my 38th. I think I'm turning 38 this year. My 38th birthday will be Morris Bart themed, and you're all invited. We're going to get a standout of him, hopefully a signed autograph poster. We're all going to have Morris Bart t-shirts, and we're all going to call his number. So, yeah, I just talked a lot about this guy. He's all over the place. But his smile like a child always makes me laugh, and we get that money, pimp. So next thing I want to talk about is I-10 basically. So we're this says Interstate 10 Expressway. The Interstate Expressway traces a scar down Claiborne Avenue from east to west. The first thing that I wanted to say is that the use of the phrase "a scar down Claiborne." So when they installed I-10, it basically uprooted a really thriving black community. There was, prior to the installation of I-10, they built the big old pillars, and then cars go through. They just basically devastated a lot of businesses for black people within New Orleans, and it's never actually recovered. However, through that area, like the area around what's called the 7th Ward and the Tremé area, it's still the site, like underneath the overpass, there's still a road that goes through, and there's a region underneath the bridge where people still kind of meet and have second lines, which you can read about them, but they're the large parties kind of in the street following a funeral procession where brass band will play and people will dance in celebration of the life of the person who had passed away. But a lot of times, if I'm driving past it or driving in the area, I'll kind of avoid that because there's a lot of foot traffic and it gets really congested. But yeah, it's still just like such a huge part of the culture of Black New Orleans, and it did kind of like shatter the installation of I-10 kind of shattered the commercial side of things, but it's still there. You can still visit it, and it still bears the culture. So that's actually kind of touched upon in the description of the east. So the bridge cuts east through the Treme and 7th Ward, like places whose stories should be forgotten and left behind in haste. The pillars still tell those stories beneath the interstate. East above the industrial canal, the moldering strip malls, the narrowed expanse of the lake, the shrimp boats that prowl the black marble waves. East through Mississippi in the winter weeknight darkness, and onward to Florida where it terminates. So, yeah, one thing that it mentions here is the pillars still tell the stories. If you do drive or like visit along the corridor underneath the I-10 overpass, like technically on Claiborne Avenue, there the pillars that support the overpass have a lot of paintings of history, Black history, and just the cultural bearers of the area. So it is a cool thing to see, and there's constantly new art around there, which is just very exciting. It is vibrant and full of life, and it's something that I think that people that don't know much about New Orleans would miss out on, and I think it's definitely worth checking out if any of you come here. So, yeah, we're gonna click on the west part. The one thing that I wanted to say though is that I-10 is like basically what takes you through, uh, like through New Orleans and away from New Orleans. It's the main way. Going east, I go that way to see my parents in Mississippi all the time. But anyway, back to this. West is the suburbs that Catherine calls home. West is the concrete expanse that breaks clean and sharp at the St. Charles Parish line and gives way to the cypress swamps. Tupelo crowns, Tupelo crowns spire above the overpass, silhouetted by an unnatural glow that leads to NORCO. So one thing, there's a clean and sharp break at the St. Charles Parish line. The interstate splits off into 310, which takes you to Luling and to NORCO. Or you can continue on I-10 west to head to Baton Rouge and God knows where else. Another thing is that the Tupelo crowns, the cypress trees and Tupelo crowns, Tupelo trees line the interstate, and it is really unique and very beautiful. It's the thing that most reminds me of home, because I don't know, a lot of my memories are visual and associated with being in a car and seeing things. So it's the landscape that most reminds me of what it is in New Orleans, and of course most reminds me of Southeast Louisiana, and it's accessible through a car via I-10. So yeah, thanks for letting me talk about all of that. We're gonna head to the overpass. So this area, which is like actually under the overpass, presently there are lots of unhoused people, and they either set up camp or congregate kind of like in this part of the I-10 overpass. This is closer to the university area, so they've actually like blocked off with fences the area, so these people are more displaced and in a worse position thanks to our great city. But I want to draw attention to the Charity Hospital sign over here. A newly finished Art Deco structure glows beyond the overpass. They turned Charity Hospital into art lofts. Disgusting. So, yeah, one thing here, there's a blue plate mayonnaise factory, a former blue plate mayonnaise factory that is now art lofts. I don't know what an art loft is. I guess it's like studio space for artists. I don't know. But yeah, the kind of like making something trendy out of something that held a specific purpose. We got it here. Lots of that in New Orleans. But Charity Hospital itself was a former teaching hospital, and it's been closed since Hurricane Katrina. And the Art Deco stuff, like, yeah, the actual design of the building is done in Art Deco style. There's a really beautiful piece by, I think Enrique Alferez is. Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to pull up a photo of the Charity Hospital. Charity Hospital. All right. So there's a lot of controversy around this thing, but yeah. So this is one of the coolest things. Enrique Alferez, a lot of his art is at the City Park Botanical Gardens in New Orleans, but he created this really beautiful, like a sculpture. I don't know quite know. It's a bronze metalworking relief that was on the Charity Hospital of Louisiana. You can see the Art Deco style here, but this is the thing that really stood out to me. Anyway, the mention of Art Deco within that, the previous thing, with that, like, yeah, it was an Art Deco building, but where it is right now, there are plans to have it used as a multi-use facility for Tulane housing, Tulane College Medical Center, stuff like that, and restaurants and all. So not too far off from art lofts, but more of a like kind of bougie thing. So yeah, the Charity Hospital was previously the place where those who couldn't afford medical care would be sent, and that's doesn't exist anymore. Nothing like that exists. So we're gonna take a look at the puppet theater over here. A makeshift puppet theater. The curtains are closed. Maybe I'll come by later to see what this is about. And we got an onlooker. It's taking forever to start. I'm starving. You been to any of these yet? No. What is it? A puppet show. They always start late. I told them I'd help load the gear, so I'm stuck here until it's over. My stomach's going to eat itself. Alright, well, there so I've heard of generator shows underneath I-10. I don't know about puppet shows. That kind of whimsy, not for me, baby. Though I do love Miss Pussycat's puppet shows that she puts on, because she's a weirdo. So we're gonna head out to City Hall. And the thing is, this is exactly what City Hall looks like. If anything, City Hall looks worse than this. So one thing they have plans, was like, the government had planned to maybe move City Hall from this aged building into an area of historical black celebration, Congo Square, in the Municipal Auditorium, which is right next to Congo Square. But a lot of people are not happy about that. I think this shitty looking building is awesome, and I think that government employees should at least say, deal with it. But one thing real quick, I know that Yutz had worked briefly for the city and doing GIS work, so I don't mean to unveil too much of what I know about him, but he's intimately familiar with this building. So we're gonna look at the skater over here. A man holding a skateboard scrolls on his phone. And let's talk to the skateboarder. Beautiful night, huh? He's wearing a humidity hat. Humidity skate shop in New Orleans. It's lovely. There's finally a cool front. Been waiting months for it. I come out here most evenings. No one bothers you around this time. Plus, you see a different side of the police. What do you mean? How so? People pass through this building at night you never expect. You know what do they call themselves? The Gregs? The Garys? Can't remember the name. No idea. The kids that squatted the Promenade Mall, they're obsessed with Kenner John. It's the Promenade Mall, Belle Promenade Mall on the West Bank. Uh, I don't know who Kenner John is. Nope. Then it probably wouldn't mean much to you. But anyhow, I see them come in and out of the city hall almost every night. I know it's them because my buddy Bruce got wrapped up in that stuff. Before you get initiated, they make you wear these goofy red polo shirts. Then once you're a full Greg, Gary, whatever, you get to wear the blue polo shirt. Sounds like a joke, and it is, but I don't think they realize it. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff I see around here at night. Why do they come? What would they be doing here? I wish I had a clue. Well, there we are. Let's take a look at the City Hall. Figure sits at a desk overlooking Duncan Plaza and the deepening winter night. He watches the fingers of a cool front animate the tops of oak trees in the park. The air this evening is the driest it's been since spring. He watches the last remnants of commuter traffic leaving Canal Street, the pulsing taillights, the shift workers running towards the bus. He watches an airplane climbing from Armstrong International as passengers look down at the warm glow of the city. The oak trees, the traffic, the frail woman staring from the street. Warm glow in darkness, wind from the lake. So we're gonna try walking into the city hall. An armed security guard greets Catherine as she enters the building. He sits on a wooden stool next to a walk-through metal detector. Good evening. Badge, please. Damn, I left it at the house. There are no council meetings scheduled for this evening. You'll need an employee ID badge to enter. I hear strange people come through here at night. Guy out front mentioned squatters in polo shirts coming in and out of the building at night. I don't get paid to answer questions. Alright, so that's about all that we can see here. So we're going to head back to the overpass and then go to the French Quarter. Alright, so the French Quarter is what most people know about New Orleans. It's where Bourbon Street resides. It's where a lot of the storied restaurants exist. It's to many people all that New Orleans is. So a brief history. I'm probably gonna get this shit wrong, but New Orleans has changed hands many times. Like owned by the French, owned by the Spanish, and became a part of America eventually. So the what is it, I think north side of Canal in New Orleans downtown is referred to as the French Quarter. It has a lot of French architecture and is what looks most like New Orleans. It is cool, but what we're looking at here is probably Bourbon Street or Royal Street. Doesn't matter. So I'd mentioned in the last stream about oogles, and they're always here, and sometimes they're really nice, but yeah, and I don't mean to typify all of them, but you'll see these people just hanging out on the street with dogs drinking and busking and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna go talk to them right now. How's your night, ma'am? Not great. Sorry to hear it. You wouldn't have any change to spare, would you? Sure, but all I got is $1. Really appreciate that. Change has been hard to come by this evening. Didn't know we'd be going head to head with sketchy Santa. His sign says he's raising money for veterans. Last night it was for leukemia. Night before that it was for something else. I respect the grift, but he stole our corner. Well, he may need help. Sounds like he may need some help. I don't doubt that, considering he tried to kill us. Yeah. With a knife. Wow. It was dull, so it just bruised a little. Well, that's a little extreme. Are you sure you're okay? Doesn't hurt as long as I'm drunk. So thanks for the $1, lady. Yeah, thanks for the pain relief. Alright, let's talk to Santa over here. Well, ho, ho, ho. Santa's eyes roll wildly in their deep sockets. His mouth twists into a smile. How are you, dear? Got $1 to spare? Help spread some Christmas cheer? I gave my last dollar away. I just let go of my last dollar. What? That dollar was for me. Yeah, well, whatever, guy. So we're gonna talk to we'll have a listen at the crowd over here. And that is why Marie Laveau opened a t-shirt and camera shop on Royal Street. That's not scary at all. I paid for a ghost store. If we're just going to walk around looking at t-shirt shops, I want my damn money back. This is a farce. What kind of tour guide are you? Well, technically I'm not one, but... Excuse me? My roommate is. Then where is he? Long story. I came all this way because the website said it'd be fun. I'm having an alright time. This city was supposed to be enchanting. Anyone trying to score some Molly? I hate New Orleans. So, real quick, there's probably a lot to say here, but Marie Laveau is the famous voodoo queen of New Orleans. I don't really know much about her, but she's a very famous figure. The t-shirt shops are just everywhere in New Orleans. You would think that that's the largest export of t-shirts. We got all the faves. I got Bourbon Faced on Shit Street, a shirt that says Thing 1 and a shirt that says Thing 2 and a shirt that says probably all the way up to Thing 5. There's also I Put Ketchup on My Ketchup. We just, everybody loves to have dumbass t-shirts. 4 for $20. Marie Laveau didn't own one though. Jazz Fest Dad. I'm gonna show you real quick. Well, I don't know. Take a look at my Twitter. I had posted a picture of me and my friend Mike dressed up as Jazz Fest Dads for Halloween one year. These are the guys that just can't get enough of funky music. They're usually middle-aged white guys that like to go see music and don't really have necessarily doesn't necessarily have any kind of musical knowledge or musical taste, but we love them. Jazz Fest Dads. And what these people look like they're on is a ghost tour, also known as a haunted history tour. Those have been going for a really long time in the New Orleans area. I have no idea what they're like, but they're all pretty funny to think about. I always joked about just trying to tell people that they're lying and start my own ghost tour. And someone in the chat said that asked if the French sounding names in NORCO were from when New Orleans was colonized by the French. No, basically, so it'd be worth looking into the history of the Cajun people. I always forget honestly what it is, but the people that settled in the area are French Cajuns from kind of the present day Nova Scotia in Canada. They have been exiled and settled in southeast Louisiana. So it's not directly through settlement of the proper French people, but through the settlement of the Cajun people. So New Orleans was more of an aristocratic thing, but technically it's just so all the French comes from French-speaking people. So we're going to talk to the vendor over here. Thing real quick. So this, I haven't seen any in a long time, but Lucky Dogs were just kind of the late night haunt of people that were in the French Quarter. I never ate one, but when you used to fly into the old Louis Armstrong International Airport Terminal, the first thing you would smell is a Lucky Dog, and maybe some people liked it, but that shit is nasty to me. I've never wanted to eat a Lucky Dog, but the carts are pretty cool. They got a big ass hot dog. So we're gonna talk to the vendor. The hot dog vendor sits behind a large plastic cart. He looks up eagerly as Catherine approaches. Oh, hey, hi. So, gotta say, if you're from the New Orleans area and went to punk shows over the past 20 years, you probably know this guy, Eric Martinez. He goes by Flannel Ass online, so I want to give a shout out to him. But he's, everybody's friend. He's a musician. He's a carpenter. He's a West Bank hero and a photographer, and one of the funniest guys that I've ever met. So you can look up the name Flannel Ass, and you'll probably find him. He's wearing a Metairie Angels hat here. He watches Catherine with a silent grin. So is this? I'm Flannel Ass, and these, he makes a grand sweeping gesture above the pot of vague meat, are my dumpy dogs. Silent smiling resumes. He begins to pick at the lint that peppers his jacket. Flannel Ass, dumpy dogs. He nods, smiles. Would you like one? Don't know if my stomach can handle it. I'm not in the best of health. I worry that one of these may kill me. No, they're good for you. They're just a bit old. Boss says he won't resupply me with more until I sell the ones I have. But the more time passes, the harder they are to sell. How old are they? Business was popping, like I was doing really well. Selling a lot of hot dogs back in YX2D. YX2D? That's nearly a decade ago. Yes. Enthusiastic nodding. Anything else I can help you with? Leave. Okay, so we're gonna try going to the Curious Duck, which is where we're gonna meet. There's a small plaque next to the door. It says Curious Duck. This is the place. So I try to open it. Door's locked. So I know that I have to talk to Flannel Ass. So you change your mind? Getting hungry? Craving a dog? Curious Duck's door is locked. This is this shop over here. I was told to come by, but the door's locked. Curious Duck? Rosie doesn't let anyone in unless they know the secret knock. What's the secret knock? So what's the knock? I can't say. Sorry. It's urgent. Please? Well, I do need some business. Alright, I'll buy one of these old hot dogs. You won't regret it. Doubtful. How much? Just $14. Is that a joke? Is what a joke? Christ, do you take wallet transfers? Cash only. Damn, well, what if I send some business your way? Then I'll show you the knock. Fine, it's a deal. So we know a guy who's hungry and he's at the overpass. This is taking forever to start. I'm starving. My stomach's going to eat itself. There are hot dogs up the street. There's a guy selling hot dogs in the quarter. You should grab one. I'm looking to treat myself tonight. These are what you might call vintage hot dogs. They're a finely aged delicacy. Oh, really? That's a bit more interesting. Thanks for the suggestion. The show's getting started. I'll go check it out after it's done. So we're going to take a look at the crowd. A crowd has arrived to watch the show. And we're going to take a look at the puppet theater. So the show's getting started. And I should take a seat. So we got the show started here. Okay, this I really quickly wanted to show. Okay, so this I'm pretty sure is a reference to something from my childhood as well. Let me put this on camera. So that sign looks remarkably like this sign that we would pass by a ton when I was a kid on the way to Laplace. So I, when I was a kid driving from Luling to Laplace on Airline Highway, I would always see this Snake Farm sign, and it just kind of like sparked my imagination. Let me see if I can like put these side by side. You can kind of see here. So it I never went there, obviously, because it had been shut down probably a decade before I was born. Um, but it, yeah, this was when Yitzhak posted the art for this. I was like, oh hell yeah, and I immediately kind of like lost my mind about seeing this specific thing, a gator farm and a snake farm. God bless them. Okay, so yeah, I wish that I could go to this giant snake place. Yeah, you can see here, but I was never young. So let's hide the browser again, um, and we're gonna start narrating. So I don't know if it's a mouse guy being constricted. It looked like a pig, a whole ass pig, but maybe so. So the gator says, "Deep in the cypress hollow I hide. I mourn this evening. My child has died. They hang hooks from the trees with chicken thighs. They shoot bullets in our heads behind our eyes. It is a curse that I am the last to survive. I was once captured by a fisher fool who called me his own. He walked me like a dog along the sinking streets. He fed me strange plants and deli meats. He even covered me with blankets when I went to sleep. I left on the night of a monstrous flood. The fool has not rested a single night since. He stalks these bayous each night, hoping to see my eyes shine. He calls out a ridiculous name that was never mine. Tonight I will shine my eyes at him. I have a request. Kill this shrimp-catching man who killed my children. Remove his head. Bring me his skull. Do this and you may again leash me like a dog." Okay. Gator Farm. So this is kind of like a mini game. Just like driving around in a boat, and I think it's really cool. But we're kind of like running out of time in the stream, so I'm gonna go as fast as I can to get through this. Um, from what I can tell, like honestly, I think if you have an opportunity to play this game, I would highly recommend just like checking out all the points of interest in this thing. There's lots of like beautiful small illustrations of swamp life, and some very sad ones, like the alligator hanging dead from a meat hook fastened to the limb of a cypress tree. So, yeah, this is a thing that people actually do, like trap alligators. It's illegal unless you have a license, and licenses kind of go quickly. You can have like a license to hunt one alligator. They're commercial alligator farms. Actually, one of my mom's childhood friends owns one. And it's just wild. So don't hunt alligators. They're really cool, and they're creeps, and they're just like big dogs. Go follow Gators Daily on Twitter if you got it. It's good. So this Twitch stream and any kind of online presences that I have are absolutely 100% pro alligator. So if you got some alligator hatred, I'm gonna come for you. So yeah, let's try this. I know that I have to go over here to find the creep. Okay, so been a long time I've seen anyone down this bayou. They all too frightened anymore. Biggest alligator ever to hunt this lake. She makes her den just across the way. She took my child from me. I buried him where I found him, near where she stay. I visit that site daily, hoping I might catch her, but she know better than to show her face. Or when to cut out that big skull of hers, that'd be something worth bragging on. That'd be a roadside marvel. There'd be money to make. I see that rifle you holding. What you say? I'm gonna refuse. Suit yourself. Carry on, stranger. So, yeah, I'm not gonna... Let's actually, let's see. Do I need to go through everything in here? Alright. I'm not an expert gamer. I just play one online briefly. So, we're gonna come over here and talk to the alligator mama. Hello, fisher fool. You've trolled this bayou for many nights. Here I am, the one you're trying to find. My child hangs dead across the lake. Bring me the head of the shrimp catching man, the one who captures the small ones. Peel the flesh from his skull. Do this, and I'll be your dog again. So I love games 504. So I don't really, I mean, like, I'm sure that there isn't just like a monolithic Cajun accent, and there are a lot of, so Ian is asking if there are different accents between regions in Southeast Louisiana. Obviously within New Orleans, I'd mentioned the documentary called Rayat, and that goes over mostly accents within the New Orleans area proper, but accents within Southeast Louisiana, we got like the Yat accent, which extends all throughout the West Bank, and then like through Greater Acadiana, I don't really know too much. I'm mostly familiar with kind of like the swamp, kind of like bayou accent, the people from like Lafourche Parish, which is where my family is, well, part of my family is from. But yeah, that's a good question, worth talking to any kind of linguist people about. Anyway, we're gonna blow this dude's head off right now. Alright, so that's it. We're gonna go drive back to the alligator. I gotta say, I don't know how to drive a boat, but I think that if you put me in one, I would do fine. Reach out to ancestors and talk to the alligators. Okay, so you did my bidding, fisher fool, just like an obedient dog. Each day you held me captive, my patience drained. You will not humiliate me again. Consider this your last mistake. Oh shit. If I get to die by an alligator, I think I'd be pretty stoked on that. And now, the freaking alligator tour is a haunted bayou ghost tour about the fisherman's blight. I relished the horror that struck the fisher fool's eyes. I first took one limb but left him alive. I made him crawl like a dog before he died. The world's most dangerous bayou is such a good slogan. But yeah, so a thing like, don't believe any kind of anti-alligator propaganda. There have been very few deaths by alligators. One last thing to say about alligators: if you get a chance to go on one, try to go on a Louisiana swamp tour at night. There's a place called Cajun Encounters that's located a little bit outside of the city that's really popular, but I had such a great time. I've been on it twice. Although I'm from here, it's still just like a really magical experience. You get to drive, like ride around on a pontoon boat at night. You'll probably see some alligators, but the really cool thing is that you can go into the canopy of the actual swamps. So you're basically like on a bayou for the most part, but then you go like directly into the swampland and you get to see what it looks like at night with like high-powered lights, and you'll see like raccoons. I remember seeing wild boar, and you'll see like turtles and frogs and stuff like that, and you get to see just like the cypress trees and the Spanish moss hanging down, and it's like, you know, not to be overblown about this, but it is really one of the most magical things that I've ever experienced. So my entire life I grew up kind of thinking that the swamp tours were corny or like tourist trap things, but, and again, I'm making no money off of this, and I'm not in the pocket of Big Alligator or anything, but yeah, that's a big thing that I'd recommend. I really love alligators, and they're really, you know, they're here. I can walk a couple blocks and see one. I think it's really cool. But there are large, scaly puppies. We're gonna take a look at the crowd again, and they're discussing the show. So I'm gonna go back to the French Quarter, and we're gonna talk to the onlooker guy, who is from the puppet show, and he followed our food recommendation. Hey, this is pretty tasty. Thanks for the rec. I might get another one. Just wait for it, pal. Hope you know where to find a bathroom around here. Alright, so, whatever. I'm being asked if an alligator has me at gunpoint right now. I wish. I really. I'd started to say earlier if I get to die by the hands of an alligator, probably meant the mouth of an alligator. I would be very proud to do so. Much rather that than cancer or a car wreck. But we're going to talk to Flannel Ass again, and he's thanking us for sending some business his way. No problem, but we had a deal. Deal? You're supposed to show me the knock? Oh, well, sorry. Rosie would be upset. Are you kidding? I sent you business. Show me the knock. That was the deal. Well, okay, but I'll only show you once. So here, listen. Did you get it? It's just a standard, like, dot, dot, dot. That was a secret knock? Very secret. That's how everyone knocks. Exactly. Who would suspect it? Alright, so we're gonna go do the secret knock over here. And Catherine knocks on the door and hears the subtle sound of its unlocking. So we're gonna go into the Curious Duck. And who do we have here but Crouton? So let's see. I have a couple of quick things. So yeah, you can see the T-shirts over here, and I get some novelty New Orleans themed T-shirts lining the back wall, and then some Mardi Gras beads and stuff. A jumble of Mardi Gras beads and other trinkets spill from the table. There are a ton of these stores in the city. If anybody wants anything from one of them, let me know. I'll bike down to the French Quarter and get you some beads or like a shirt that says that you smoke weed or something like that. We're going to take a look at the boxes. Unopened merchandise boxes are pushed to every corner of the room. And we're going to take a look at Crouton. This cat looks familiar. So Catherine doesn't know Crouton, but we do. Remember that this takes place 2 weeks in the past, so he didn't fly here. Maybe he flew to Sarpy paperbacks. And to trigger this event, we're gonna have to click the crystal ball. Don't touch the ball. Suppose you think you can come in here with your soft little hands and touch on my magic ball. Don't work like that, love. Now I gotta clean off the smudges. I see you've been eating French fries. Greasy hands. Nasty. You must be one of them super duck people. Always coming around here looking down on their phones. Greasy hands. Terrible. The app said I should come here? The app. Yes, ma'am. Something not right about you. You're a drug head. I'm sorry, is this the right place? It is, Butterhands. It is. Just calm down, love. You made it. Dallas will tell you what's what. Go talk to Dallas. I called him when I heard you trying to break into the place. Hell of a racket you were making. Jiggling on the handle like you couldn't get a hold of it. Now I see why. Dallas will be right out front. I don't got time to be babysitting you. Now that I gotta clean up all this. Stains all over my ball. You even check your shoes before you come in? I'll say they're clean. My shoes are clean. Well, I know that's a lie. And one last thing. That gemstone you got hanging from your neck, that thing ain't real. I know. Trashy. Alright, so we can't talk to Rosie. Why are you still here? Go find Dallas. Let him deal with you. So Dallas is this guy right here. Guessing you're Catherine. That's right. Rosie debrief you? Was that a debriefing? I don't know if that's what I call it, but sure. She can be kinda... He casts his gaze into the sky and back to Catherine. Never mind. Quack Job should have a ticket with the information we need. No reason to stand around. What's Super Duck? What exactly is Super Duck? It's a way of making money. Right, but it's an intelligence of some kind. I don't know its purpose. Don't know why it exists. None of that. There are nodes all across the region. Points where you can speak with Super Duck directly. These are all things Rosie should have filled you in on. Not surprised she didn't. Tell me about Rosie. What's Rosie got to do with any of this? There are a dozen or so rendezvous points in addition to the nodes. Rosie's shop is one of... She must be making good money offering her place to the network. Probably the only reason she keeps it going. Doubt she sold merchandise in years. Locks the doors to discourage customers. Guess you could call it a front. Have you been on Quack Job long? How long have you been using this app? Been doing this since before there was an app. But Super says use the app, I'll use the app. Makes no difference to me. Let's go. Alright, me too. Check the app and let's get moving. So, we're gonna take a look at the app. We got a little bit more money. Well, we're up to $54. We can clear that out. So we met the contact. No new messages. We're gonna catch a ride to Metairie. So yeah, we're at the Eagle Wholesale place. I'm gonna talk about the traffic real quick. I know it's a little bit after when I said the stream would end, but we're getting really close to the end of Act 1. And there's a steady beat of traffic lights lighting the sky across the causeway. So the causeway was the longest continuous bridge over water. I think that it's been downvoted or like demoted from that within the past decade or so. But it links basically the greater New Orleans area to the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. So this is Mandeville, Covington, Abita Springs, or Abita. I think it's straight up just Abita. And these are, it's actually really beautiful out there, but it is really different from New Orleans. But anyway, a lot of commuters come in through the causeway from the North Shore to jobs either in Metairie or in New Orleans. So yeah, that's about all to really say about that. I'm going to take a look at the office, and the doors are locked and the office is closed. So yeah, only thing we can do is go into the warehouse or take a look at the warehouse, and the galvanized steel door to the supply warehouse is half opened. So gonna go inside and don't even know what we're looking at. And it's a mess of body horror. You made it. And here we are back in the present day. And so concludes Act 1 and our second stream of NORCO from St. Charles Parish Creek. So we're going to pick up where we left off here next week. I'm going to save... Whoa, we got to talk to Million first. So Erica said Blake went to Floodgate Tavern yesterday evening. Let's pass by on the way home and see what information we can gather. So, gonna do this right now. Click save, and I think we're on slot 1. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. This is where we're at right now, and I am going to go home to the title screen so we don't have to hear a motorcycle for a while. But yeah, I have no idea how to end a stream right now, or if there needs to be any additional data that gets sent to the Twitch servers for this to like fully register. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for sticking around and asking some really fun questions. The things that I wanted to, draw your attention to. Again, I had mentioned the Where Ya At documentary. I'll see if I can find a copy of it somewhere. It's at the library, I know. But parts of it are on YouTube, and it's just really illuminating. I'm gonna try to see. There's another documentary that was produced around the same period of time, New Orleans dialect documentary. So, yeah, okay. I'm gonna put the link to where you at in the chat right now. Let's see if I can do that. Can I paste something? Okay, cool. And I think it's really just like very cool. So there was another one that was like, oh, New Orleans lexicon. Yeah, this one was cool because it shows a lot of words that that are common to New Orleans. So I'm a fan of dialects. I don't know much about this stuff. I just like how much it represents an individual's culture and things like that. So again, thank you all so much. I really appreciate all the kind words that people had to say about my first stream. I was really nervous because I hadn't practiced my presentation prior to going, and I didn't quite know what to say through it. And then I was dealing with a lot of internet issues. I think the internet issues are kind of doing a little bit better since I'm like tethered to my phone rather than dealing with Cox's internet. So that worry was not here, and that was a great relief for me. So thanks again, and yeah, I'll check this out. Check me out next week. Happy 420 to those who celebrate, and yeah, go do cool things. Thanks, y'all. I'm gonna stop right now. Yeah.